Hello and welcome to News Cycle on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Edikan Michael. A reminder that we are on DSTV, channel 365, free to air on Nicomsat, and on Star Times, channel 276. We begin by informing you that Vice President Kashim Shettima is currently presiding over the 145th meeting of the National Economic Council at the State House, Abuja. The Vice President asked the newest member of the Council, Governor Monday Babalola of Edo State, to say the opening prayer after the national anthem. And our state governors, some deputy governors and members of the President Bola Tinubu's economic team are expected to discuss key economic issues surrounding the 2025 fiscal year, among others. The Senate has approved the President Bola Tinubu's loan request of $2.2 billion to partially finance the 9.7 trillion Naira budget deficit for the 2024 fiscal year. The approval followed the presentation of a report by the Chairman, Senate Committee on Local and Foreign Debt, Aliyu Wamako, during the plenary. Presiding over the session, the Deputy Senate President, Jibril Baru, commended the committee for its swift action and the thorough examination of the loan request. In a letter read previously during the Senate and the House of Representatives plenaries, Tinubu had explained that the loan is integral to his administration's fiscal strategy for the coming year. He further directed the Senate Committee on Local and Foreign Debt to expedite its review of the request and present a report within 24 hours. The managing director of the IMF, Kristalina Georgieva, says the organization is strongly in support of the economic reforms introduced in Nigeria under President Tinubu. While speaking on the X, Georgieva allowed the economic reforms implemented under the current government. A statement followed a meeting with the president on the sidelines of the G20 summit in Brazil. And our Finnish Nigerian separatist leader Simon Ekpa has been arrested in Finland alongside 4 others on suspicion of terrorism-related activities, including incitement to violence and terrorism financing. Ekpa was reportedly remanded in custody by the Papagia's Armed District Court on charges of public incitement to commit a crime with terrorist intent. The publication reported that the Finnish Central Criminal Police confirmed the arrest in a statement on Thursday, noting that the other suspects were apprehended for allegedly financing the terrorist activities. The police say their detention demands are related to a preliminary investigation in which a Finnish citizen of Nigerian descent, born in the 1980s, is suspected of public incitement to commit a crime with terrorist intent. Ekpa is accused of coordinating violent actions against civilians and authorities in Nigeria's southeast region from Finland, using social media platforms to further his agenda. Our defense headquarters has confirmed the neutralization of notorious terrorist commander Muso Yadu in the northeast. The Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Babawa, addressing newsmen on the success recorded across all theaters of the operation, said that the casualties were recorded in the northeast and the southeast during the week. Our correspondent, Kikolo Bakare, has the details.
The Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, says its troops have recorded significant achievements in their ongoing counter-terrorism and counter-insurgency operations across the country. He highlighted the elimination of key terrorist elements, the disruption of criminal networks, and the recovery of substantial assets.
Our troops at a checkpoint within the vicinity of that community were attacked, and the attack was unprovoked. We recorded some casualties. Indeed, we recorded 3 casualties. Some members of the community say that they have abandoned the location, thinking that troops will carry out, what did you call it? They will come there and just start killing everybody. I need to remind you that we are a professional force. That is not how we operate. Even as much as there will be consequences for the terror group that escalated that situation, our targets are not innocent Nigerians.
He also says the military primary objective remains the identification and destruction of terrorists and their collaborators wherever they may be hiding. He further explained that the Nigerian Air Force has also contributed significantly by conducting precise airstrikes on terrorist enclave to degrade their capabilities and neutralize threats.
We seek cooperation, not conflict. Okay? That's what we want. That is what our people want. That is what Nigeria wants. We want to increase the crude oil production of our nation.
Major General Buba emphasized that while the war against terrorism is challenging, the armed forces remain committed and prepared to ensure the safety and security of citizens. Kike Lomo Okeri reporting for Global Television News.
Now, the authorities of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, have reinstated Professor Joseph Ikechewolu as the acting vice-chancellor of the institution with immediate effect. This was disclosed in a press statement signed by the Director of Information and Public Relations Protocol Officer of the university, Nyatalita Alius. Alius explained that the decision followed the nullification of Professor Bernard Odo's appointment as the seventh substantive vice-chancellor, which was deemed illegal. He said Professor Ikechewolu has been directed to assume full administrative responsibilities for the university immediately. Additionally, Victor Madowole has been appointed acting registrar following the nullification of Mrs. Rosemary Ifeoma's appointment as a substantive registrar. The House of Representatives has rejected the second reading of the bill seeking to provide a single term of 6 years for president and governors at the plenary. It is also seek to provide that all elections should be held on the same day as well as other provisions. The bill was introduced for second reading by the lead sponsor, Rep. Ogochenere, and seconded. However, when the bill was put into vote by the Speaker, Abbas Tajuddin, there was a loud nay from the members. The Speaker therefore announced that the nays had it, which means that the bill was rejected and failed to scout through the first reading. Now, away from that, Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives Benjamin Kalu has disclosed that the National Assembly is considering amendments to 161 areas in the 1999 Constitution in the ongoing review. A briefing news made after a closed-door session with the governors of the 36 states of the Federation during their meeting in Abuja. Kalu said governors are critical stakeholders in the process, hence the need for their input. A federal lawmaking body is considering the issues of state police, electoral reform, local government autonomy, and the diaspora voting and autonomy of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and the pre-post-election concerns and court rulings on electoral matters, among others, in the review. Kalu is chairing the Committee on Constitutional Review at the House of Representatives, said that the governors were in support of the initiative and ready to welcome the lawmakers when they start visiting various states for public hearing. Now, in what has been described as testament to progressive governance, Imo State has joined the ranks of 4 other states in Nigeria rewarded by the World Bank under the State Action on Business Enabling Reforms Program. The recognition comes under the State Actions on Business Enabling Reforms, which assess state on their effort to improve the ease of doing business index. From Imo State, here is our correspondent Amarachi Zibet's story.
The State Commissioner for Information, Public Orientation and Strategy, Declan Emelumba, during a press briefing in Owerri, the state capital, says the state received $4 million, an equivalent of 6.8 billion naira, for its impressive performance in promoting good governance, transparency and accountability. Emelumba noted that the World Bank assessed states based on 4 critical criteria: efficiency of land administration, regulatory framework for private investment in fiber optic infrastructure, performance of investment promotion agency, and transparency of government to business services.
This is a clear testament to the government's commitment to progressive governance, economic empowerment, and sustainable development. This equally and clearly vindicates the governor as a man who has been focused in his administration and enabling seamless land registration and boosting land-based investments.
He further stated that the success story was due to Governor Hope Uzodinma administration's doggedness in implementing focused reforms to enhance land registration, boost investor confidence, and create a seamless business environment.
The World Bank has rewarded Imo State government with a whooping sum of $4 million, almost 7 billion naira, for good governance, engendering good governance and accountability in the ease of doing business.
The recognition of Imo State by the World Bank signals its emergence as a hub for investment and economic opportunities, citing an example for other states across Nigeria. From Owerri, Amarachi Ibe, reporting for Global TV News.
And amid the ongoing internal dispute within the People's Democratic Party, governors on its platform said they will meet in Jos, Plateau State, to discuss internal matters and the current state of the nation. The meeting is in preparation for the 99th National Executive Committee meeting of the party scheduled for November 28. It has been reported that the acting National Chairman Umaru Damagun, the National Secretary Sam Ayawu, and the National Legal Advisor Kamaldeen Ijabi San had invited to the meeting. At the 98th National Executive Committee meeting held on April 18, the party leaders approved the formation of the Reconciliation and the Disciplinary Committee and the conduct of ward and state congresses, and instructed the North Central Caucus to consult on the national chairmanship position. Now, a development expert and founder of the Global Initiative for Nigeria Development, Michael Lele, has cautioned the federal government against implementing tax reforms that could deepen poverty among Nigerians. Lele, in a statement in Ado-Ekiti State, described the proposed tax reforms as a grossly capitalist policy that will strive the economic growth and worsen the plight of the masses. He urged the government to focus on creating an enabling environment and addressing social concerns instead of burdening citizens with additional taxes. Ale argued that the sustainable development required more than just increased revenue. President General of the National Union of Local Government Employees, Ambali, has called for revitalization of the nation's councils to free them from the shackles of state government. Ambali made the call in Abuja on the second day of the Forum of Heads of Local Government Administration in Nigeria, where he charged the local government stakeholders to unite to transform the councils. Represented by Engineer Kayode, the union's President General stated that the autonomy given to local government is challenging and must not be trampled upon by the maladministration, as it will bring about good governance and bridge infrastructural gap and stop the route to urban migration if properly utilized. Now, 4 days after Ondo State governorship election, the Independent National Electoral Commission has presented certificate of return to Ondo State Governor Lucky Ayadituwa and his deputy Adelami Olarike. When I'm bringing the report from the INEC headquarters. At a brief ceremony at the INEC headquarters in Abuja, the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, commends the people of Ondo for peaceful conduct during the election. The INEC chairman, who was represented by Professor Kunle Ajayi, supervising National Commission of Ondo Elections, urges the governor-elect and the deputy to uphold the democratic principles by delivering good governance.
And this symbolizes the official acknowledgement of the mandate conferred by the good people of Ondo State on the 16th November 2024. It is also a reminder of the trust that has been placed in you as the governor-elect and the deputy governor-elect to uphold democratic ideas and work tirelessly to deliver good governance.
In his response, the governor-elect lauded the effort of the security agencies in their efforts to promoting peace and assured all people resident in Ondo State to run a people-centric governance.
I also like to thank the security agencies. I commend their effort for their professionalism all through the election. They provided security for both lives and properties and materials, and the election have been adjudged as one of the most peaceful elections in Nigeria.
Ayadatiwa of APC defeated Abola Ajayi of the People's Democratic Party and 15 other candidates. He won across all 18 local government areas of the state, polling 366,781 votes against Ajayi's 117,845 votes. Now, the opposition People's Democratic Party in Ondo State has alleged that the Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa took 20 billion naira from the state treasury to fund his campaign for last Saturday's governorship election in the state. About in a swift reaction, the ruling party refuted the claim, describing it as a false and baseless. However, the Director of Media and Publicity for the ruling All Progressive Congress in Ondo State, Steve Otalore, refurbished the claim and describing it as a fallacy. You're watching the news cycle here on Global TV, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital. When the news cycle returns, Lagos government says it is committed to sustainable retail industry growth. We'll bring details of these as well as foreign and sports stories after this short break. Please stay with us. Welcome back to News Cycle. And on to business. The Lagos State government has restated its commitment to fostering sustainable growth in the retail industry through the policy initiative and public-private partnerships. This was stated by the Commissioner for Commerce, Cooperative Trade and Investment, Folashade Ambrose, at the Africa Retail Congress 24 held recently at Lagos Business School. Ambrose Madamine said that she had observed firsthand the profound impact of the retail sector on the Lagos State economic trajectory, adding that the sector is a vibrant engine of economic growth and employment generation and social development. She also said that the state showcases a robust retail environment that serves as a symbol of innovation, resilience and opportunity, which has fueled its commitment to enhancing the potential of this sector. The Nasarawa State government says it is partnering with the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria to purchase 141 housing units for off-takers under the rent-to-own scheme, which can be accessed by the civil servants in the state. The state's Deputy Governor, Dr. Emmanuel Akebe, said this yesterday when he had a delegation to the FMB headquarters in Abuja, saying that the state government is paying attention to the welfare of the youth workers. Saying that they will pay legislation for the workers to own their houses, as administrations will continue to collaborate with the bank by working out modalities for the purchase of the unoccupied housing units scattered across the state and delivered about 141 housing units, he said. Now, the National Association of Nigeria Travel Agency has stated that some foreign airlines are still selling their tickets in dollars. It has, however, petitioned the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority to address the issues, insisting this was against the local law, which forbids dealing with foreign currencies for the local transactions. However, over time, there has been complaint against foreign airlines for selling the ticket in dollars. This has become rampant in the airline industry in the recent times when foreign airlines had most of their funds trapped in Nigeria. On the foreign scene, the Mali junta on the Thursday appointed military officer Major General Abdullah Maga as the new prime minister a day after sacking the civilian prime Achukwu Kogali following his criticism of the military leadership. And I previously served as the government spokesman. The West African nation battled for jihadists and the separatist violence has been under military rule since the successive coup in the 2020 and 2021. Although Abdoulaye was not part of the initial group of the colonels who overthrew the civilian president in August 2020, he quickly aligned himself with them and has since been promoted to the general. Kenya deployed a heavy police presence ahead of President William Ruto's State of the Nation speech. This comes as he faces criticism over abductions, corruption, and unpopular economic policies. There were some calls online to protest Ruto's speech in Parliament, but the energy behind the mass demonstration between June and August sparked by the proposed tax rises has gradually reduced. And now Ruto is making his third State of the Nation address since taking office in 2022 with a pitch to have the country's poor. He has also worked to forge close ties with the Western countries and donors, but his room for maneuver has been severely limited by Kenya's heavy debt burden, which surpassed $80 billion this year. And on sport, Manchester City midfielder Rodri has stirred controversy in the football circles with his remarks about Cristiano Ronaldo claiming the Portuguese star lacks the inner talent compared to Lionel Messi. And now Rodri, who is recovering from the knee surgery, made a statement during an interview with the Spanish TV program, reflecting on the debate over who is the greatest player of all time. The Spaniard sided family with Messi, while offering the pointed critic of Ronaldo's abilities. The midfielder described the contrasting challenges of facing the two football icons, emphasizing that Messi posed a far more pervasive threat on the pitch. And that's our package, a news cycle coming to you live from the nation's capital. A reminder that we on DSTV, channel 365 and StarTimes, channel 276, free to air on Nicomsat. You can watch and follow all of our other news on the social media platform at Global TV NG. On behalf of the entire production team, we say a very big thank you for staying with us on News Cycle. We'll come again. My name is Adikan Michael. Bye-bye.